I'm Mark DeWitt. I work for Tennenbaum Recycling. I've been with them for 19 years, and I'm their primarily can buyer. And I'm now venturing off in other states and setting up accounts to buy different kinds of metals and materials. I set up accounts, I purchase material, I support the accounts, I troubleshoot. We set up equipment for flattening of cans, recycling cans. And I set up their pricing structures and help them with market issues. Market not being what it is today, we've got quite a few issues. But anyway, we also have an express center in Little Rock called the Express Recycling Center, which deals with the public retail purchase of scrap metals. Okay, everything metal. Tin, cans, aluminum, brass, copper, the whole shebang. And we have that where people could actually drive through, sell their material, get their money, and go on about their way. We try to make it really easy and consumer friendly, and we've been doing that since I've been with the company. I started back in 1995 after a brief stint with a family business in scrap. I've been with the state for 13 years before that as a bureaucrat, and I decided I liked the private sector a little bit better. But anyway, having said that, I oversee the completion of the aluminum can contracts. I help in developing those contracts and seeing them through the completion. And I do a lot of forecasting of material needs on our yard and monitor the inventory from time to time. I'm kind of going by bullet points here because I don't want to go all over the map if you guys don't mind. So anyway, TRG began over 150 years ago. I think this is the fourth generation of the Tennenbaum family.
Hold up the mic.
Okay, how's that? So anyway, this is his fourth generation family, and I think they began with some metals, but a lot of recyclers in the old days began with, bones, hides, furs, cloth, wool, anything they could get, even beeswax of all things, and then they focused on metals. And the value of metals would come and go, but during the war, metals were more focused upon for obvious reasons, munitions, vehicles, aircraft, etc. So there was a big need, to be able to build jeeps and tanks and all the good stuff, We currently employ, I'm going to say, over 200 individuals. Our main yard is in North Little Rock, over off Protho. We have a yard in Harrison, Berryville area, which we now bring in material from. We've got one in Jonesboro. That used to be the old Hummelstein scrapyard, which now is part of TRG. Hot Springs, we have a yard there, and also our new Rogers yard, which actually has a metal shredder. Not as nice as our shredder, but it's a good yard, and we have a presence in Northwest Arkansas now. So Northwest Arkansas is a very, very busy area. A lot of industrial activity and a lot of people recycling. And we bring material in from all these different plants, and we process it for shipment. And in fact, we even scrap material and ship to the Far East, certain types of items. And I say the Far East because some of these countries don't really have infrastructure that they can scrap out. In other words, they're on their first level of buildings that they haven't destroyed yet and reused to rebuild, if I'm making any sense. So they're needing scrap metal to keep building their infrastructure up, and China is one of those examples. And sometimes they get in the market, and sometimes they get out of the market, and that's when prices can get really crazy from a buying standpoint. Okay, you with me so far? Okay. Two kinds of metals that we primarily deal with at Tennenbaum. One is ferrous metal, which contains iron, and non-ferrous metal, which contains very little, if any, iron. We process the metal through our shredder. We buy trucks, cars, farm implements. We get scraps from industrial sites, job cleanups. We tore down the old Reynolds factory in Benton some time back. Beams, lots of roofing tin, shredded up. The cars go in as a car, and they come out pieces about the size of a golf ball. Okay, we make little ones out of big ones. And from there, we've learned over the years that there's a lot of metals that come through that scrap that get caught in there. And in a car, you've got stainless steel, you've got brass, you've got aluminum, all kinds of different things. And we're doing our best to siphon those metals off separately from the iron, and we run them through what we call an eddy current. So we're able to extract those materials and make a more pure steel product. The shred that we load up in the barge and send up the river to Nucor in Blytheville, because they have very strict requirements about how much copper could be inside that steel shred. It's a steel shred product that is our lifeblood. But if we're able to get, a bunch of brass and a bunch of copper out of it, hey, we've got markets for that stuff too. So the shredder is our friend. It's just keeping the thing fed. That's our main concern right now. Okay. Again, the main things that come through our yard, we'll see, people bring stuff from their backyard all the time, swing sets, bed frames, just all kinds of different things that we buy from people. And, we serve a purpose in that, they clean up their yard, we help them, we purchase the material. Sometimes these tough times, you'll drive through the country like I do, and you'll see, in the old time, you'd see farmhouses with old rusted trucks and tractors and farm implements, and you think, man, what a eyesore. You don't see those anymore. People have gotten wise to it. They figure, hey, it's a tough time, and let's get some money out of this deal. Let's bring it on in, and we shred it up, and now they're golf balls. Okay, but a lot of things affect how we do business and how we set prices, and we use the London Metal Exchange, the COMEX for copper. Wall Street has a big impact. We're just talking about China and European markets, stability of the world, all that kind of stuff. Everything affects how we set our price. But we try to maintain a good street price for people, whether they're a guy just walking in with a bag of cans or someone that's got an industrial account that's been set up with us for years. So, we deal with people from all walks of life. And we're very proud of that. We've made a good reputation around the city, dealing with different folks with different backgrounds. But the thing about iron, back in the day, you'll probably remember the old stories about mining iron ore out of the ground and the steel mills. You don't see that a lot anymore, obviously. And so what we're doing now is we're going to mini mills with this steel shred I've been referring to on the barge. We send it right back to the mills. They, do what they do to it to form, rolls, pipe, angle iron, construction steel. And before you know it, that refrigerator that went through the shredder 2 days ago now is part of someone's roof somewhere. That's what we're talking about recycling, or even reincarnation, if you will. I use the term funny, but it's true. Someone's tricycle becomes an engine block someday. It just happens that way. But that's a change of the times, the mini mills. And they're much more convenient. They're much more sophisticated. We try to stay ahead of the curve as far as how we operate our business. And so sometimes we get denser steel, construction, big heavy I-beams, and sometimes we have to chop those. That's how we process that, and we send that off on a trailer up to Newport, for example. Arkansas Steel, great business up in the center part of the state. So we send that type of material, the stuff that we cannot run through the big guy. Shredder will not handle steel that dense, or we have to cut it with a torch. Sometimes we'll get massive tanks or rail cars. Just imagine a steel caboose trying to cut that thing in half. So, all right. Non-ferrous metal. Oh, by the way, when we're finished shredding everything and extracting every bit, we have what we call fluff. And that is the only product that we don't have a real home for at this time. And that's what we're working diligently to try to work that so we don't waste one piece of what goes through that shredder. That's our goal. Okay, that's our mission, is to minimize whatever we have to send to the landfill. And that's everybody's mission in this business to a degree. I'm going to move on to non-ferrous metal now, and this involves the...
Mark.
Yes?
What is fluff?
Fluff? What is fluff? It could be the foam that comes out of a seat in the car, plastic, trim, that type of thing. So that's the last product that we have left in the line, and there's residue of steel in there that we're trying to work on recovering, but that is the last piece that we try to eliminate having to send on. So,
Mark, how's that separated?
well, I'll get back to that.
Finish so we can get to the rest of the panels.
Do I know you? Okay. Non-ferrous metal. Okay, I know I'm going over time, so I'll move quick. Copper, brass, aluminum, stainless steel. These are all things that all of us we use, and we recycle. Copper comes to us in the form of pipe, electrical, speaker wire, welding leads. Brass, you've seen the valves, electrical and hose fittings. Even the old figurines that are sitting on your grandma's, table. We see a lot of that. Stainless steel comes into us, sinks. It's old stainless steel sinks. We get those. We get people from food institutions that we process that. Lots of ovens and refrigeration applications are made of stainless steel. But aluminum is the one item that it seems to be the most popular because it's used for so many applications, from cooking supplies, boats, canoes, lawn furniture, barbecue grills, car rims, ladders, aircraft, irrigation pipe. I could go on and on. Automobile engine blocks, etc. And we containerize that, we bale it, we ship it, and it becomes an alloy at one of the aluminum processing plants, because these guys, this is what they do. They take the aluminum, they melt it, and they pour out ingots. And the ingots are what they use to determine what kind of alloy they build for a Nissan plant that needs engine block material. It's very sophisticated, and they say this might need more chromium in it or some other type of alloy added to it. So we shoot it, we determine what's in it, ship it that way, and they may add to the mix and build the cake, if you will. Basically what it is building a cake out of aluminum alloy. And okay, the chemical compositions, they vary, but we try to keep up with that the best we can. Copper plants are very similar. They have certain grades that they need to make in order to develop a certain type of a product. It has to have certain strength, certain conductivity, like bus bar for electrical application or refrigerating lines. I'm going to wrap it up with what is my specialty, UBCs. UBC is a used beverage container. Aluminum can. I took over the can business for Tennenbaum back in '97. We were probably doing 5 million pounds of cans a year. Last year we did 11 million. Okay? We're drawing out to 6 or 7 different states. That's why I'm on the road. I'm buying material from other dealers. I'm getting them on board. I'm providing them can flattening machines and trailers to buy those cans in Mississippi and Tennessee and bring them back to us. We bale them, ship them out right back to Alcoa or Anheuser-Busch or whoever we have a contract with. I sent 80,000 pounds today out our doors, 2 loads. It's been a short month, but we're going to make up for it because I've got probably 5 loads sitting on the ground outside ready to go as we speak. But everybody has cans. Everybody uses them. They're convenient. There's a home for them when you're done with them. And it's the common item that all scrap yards have, and they can be a bit of a pain sometimes, but they do bring in a lot of other material with them. Speaking from a retail standpoint, a buying standpoint. Okay, so and let's see. There's about 34 cans in a pound, so I'm going to say we probably processed 374 million cans last year. We presently 100,000 cans are recycled every minute in our country. And during 1 year, 131 billion cans are produced and 80 million are used. So it's a great product that I believe in, that I've had a lot of fun with, made a lot of good business contact with over the years, and there's a lot of challenges ahead for us. But we talked about how today's wheelbarrow could be tomorrow's roof, or the roadsides are better, but the main thing, there's a lot of good things about recycling. There's ways to raise money for your schools, your civic groups, just lots of opportunities. So there's always a home for this material, and I guarantee I could look across this room and I know there's things in your garage, your backyard that you haven't messed with in years that it's worth money. Maybe not a lot, but heck, why not? In these times, a little bit, helps. So we're doing the best part we can, trying to help the countryside clean up and minimize what we send to the landfill. And Whether you bring us your scrap metals or bring them to your sanitation service of your choice, like Rusty here, that's fine with me too. Just do your part, and I thank you for doing that, and thank you for listening to me tonight.